Good morning. Coming off a bye week, thought we had a very productive bye week. Thought the bye week came at the right time. You know, it'd been obviously a physical first 6 games of the season. Feel like we were able to still be productive and really work on ourselves. Things that we're still a work in progress. We've played 6 games. We're at the halfway point. We've got a tough road ahead of us. Our focus is South Alabama, 100%, and ourselves. And right now, our team, we had a team meeting yesterday. I thought we had a very productive meeting. We know what's at stake. Each game is a championship game. Every game is a championship game. We've got everything in front of us. We know that we've got a long way to go, and that's our mentality. We've got the 134 mentality. We come into this game versus South Alabama. We're a 7.5 point underdog. We're another team's homecoming. So, again, we're excited about this opportunity. Looking forward to a great week of preparation against a very good South Alabama football team. Questions?
Coach, just want to start, obviously, talk about this bye week. It's a long season. Mentally, physically, how good was this bye week for you guys?
I thought this bye week came at perfect timing. Our kids have played hard. We've worked hard. It's been physical. When you sit back and you look at Texas, then you go to, even James Madison, and then you got Texas, and then you've got, Troy, and then you've got Southern Miss. We had some really physical games there back to back to back to back, and I thought we were able to come out of it, fairly healthy. Not for the most part. We've lost a couple guys that meant a lot to this football team. But overall, it came at a good time. We were able to get some guys that had been banged up back healthy, and some guys that needed to really clean up and get back into it more prepared.
You want your guys to get some love, and obviously they have 6 games into this. How do you keep them hungry, though?
I think the biggest thing is we know where we came from. We know who we are. We understand the mission that we're on, and we've talked about this is a journey, and we're writing a book. And every game is a chapter in that book. And right now, if we're halfway through that book, what have we read so far? And right now we're 5-1, and it's been a good book so far. But the last 6 chapters are really going to determine the ending. And we understand that we've got a tough road. We're in a valley, and we got to fight out of this. 4 of our next 6 games are on the road. And the end of the day, and we talked about that during the bye week, but the focus now is South Alabama. South Alabama Saturday night. How we prepare. How we, what's our focus? What's our mentality? I can tell you this football team the last 3 weeks has continued to elevate the standards of this program in practice, in these hallways, in meetings, in the weight room. And we've got to continue the climb. And the biggest thing we talked about is we want to be peaking by week 8. And we've talked about that in January, February, and March. And to stay that grind, and right now, we've continued that climb, but that climb's about to get tougher. These mountains are about to get higher. And we've got to go on the road against some really good football teams, and we're talking about South Alabama that has a really good football team. And they play the game really well. So we've got a big challenge in front of us, and that's really what we're focused on. And this team, they have that mindset and they have that focus.
Coach, you talk about getting better every week, and then this bye week being a good week off. What are the things you've learned about your team this week?
I think the thing I've learned is this team is close, and this team cares about each other. I think the camaraderie and the culture and the chemistry that's not hard, that's very hard to build when you influx this many players and you come into tough times. But the culture, the chemistry, and the care for one another is really what stood out to me last week, and that's something that we don't take for granted. And it's something that we protect and we try to cultivate every day. Because remember this, you cannot win a championship. You cannot win a big game, especially on the road, unless you have that chemistry and that culture and that brotherhood. It's a key ingredient, and to see that continue to grow and build is very unique.
Now, you mentioned, South Alabama, playing on their homecoming, underdogs. Is it personal when you have a team scheduled before homecoming? Is that personal when you guys are looking to go in there and spoil what's supposed to be a fun time for them?
I think that if you probably, and it's something I probably need to research that I just hadn't had time, but I would say we have been everybody's number one homecoming, it seems like, in the last couple of years. And there's only one way to change that, is you want to get it where they look at the schedule and they say, we don't want to schedule ULM for homecoming. And the only way you make that start happening is you go beat people on their homecoming.
Tell us a little about South Alabama. What makes them so dangerous?
I think it all starts up front. If you look at their defense, the strength of their defense is their defensive line. This will be, one of the better, if not the best D-line minus Texas we played all year. They're fast, they're physical, they're twitchy, they move. They're coached really well. They have great technique. Their inside linebackers are physical. They're downhill. They can run. I think in the back end, they do a great job of their technique. They believe in what they do. They've got 9 interceptions. They've got 3 fumble recoveries. They're a defense that poses you problems. Because anytime that their defensive line is their true strength, and they've got strengths all over the field on defense, but their defensive line really stands out. So it's going to be, it's going to be a war versus their defense come Saturday night. Offensively, their offensive line, they're big, they're physical, they're coached extremely well. Their technique is solid. They're multiple in their schemes. I think that their running backs are physical. They run downhill. They have they control. They're second in the league in time of possession, 31 minutes and 58 seconds. We're third in the league in time of possessions. Possessions are going to be at a premium this game because we're both, similar styles. I think the quarterback, Gio, he does a great job getting it out quick. He's accurate. He makes good decisions. They put the ball on the perimeter. They've got guys that can make that can make you miss and break tackles. Tight ends, they'll get in 11 and 12. There's a lot of movement. There's a lot of shifting. I think Rob, Coach Ezel, their OC, does a great job in those aspects. And then in the kicking game, they're solid in all 3 phases. So we've got our hands full. This is a big challenge. Their strengths are up front. We feel like our strengths are up front. So this is going to be a war.
Coach, you're familiar with the South Alabama program. You're familiar with a lot of those programs in the state of Alabama, and they haven't been playing football just an awful long time. Hancock Whitney Bank, one of the best venues in the entire Sun Belt, maybe one of the best in the South. What can we learn from a program like South Alabama?
I think being there at some of the early stages of South Alabama and getting it going and getting to the first bowl game, I think kind of showed them what the potential was. And then when they committed to the facilities, I think it was with Coach Campbell, where they built the indoor facility and then they built the new stadium, which they're very pristine. Now I think you've kind of seen their program take off. Under Kane Womack right there when they got the facilities built and Kane came in, and Kane and I worked together. He was the defense coordinator, I was the offensive coordinator. But when they invested in the facilities is really when they saw their campus take off and their football program take off.
You talked offensively. It's a team that possesses the ball extremely well. Looked at third down. I believe 40% third down conversion. How important is it going to be for your guys' defense to get those big third down stops and get off the field and keep their offense off the field?
I think that's a big key to this game. This game is very intriguing in situational football. And that's why it goes back to Coach Applewhite. He does a really good job in situational football. They're good offensively. They're 40% in third down. They're 60% on fourth down. They're 6 for 10, so they're going to go for it. Their turnovers, they've thrown 1 interception, and they've lost 2 fumbles. They've turned it over 3 times this year. That's good football. The red zone, I think they're 32 of 34 in the red zone. It's pretty good. So they've played really good situational football on offense. Defensively, they're 39% on third down. So they're playing winning football on third down. They're 2 for 7 on fourth down. They're winning fourth down. Red zone, they've been solid in the red zone. So the kicking game, they've been solid. So not only are they solid in all 3 phases, they're solid in situational football. And what we've got to understand, when you look at an opponent like this and you look in the mirror and you see who they are and how they play the game, possessions are going to be at a premium. They're going to be at a premium, and every snap's going to be a big deal.
Overall, health-wise, how are you guys doing? And then the second question, Jaden Hamlin, at what point will we see him more on the field?
I think Jaden Hamlin he came off a major surgery in the offseason, and it's been a process. I think the last 3 weeks you're starting to see him come on. You're starting to see him come on, and I think the best is yet ahead. And when he does hit the scene, everybody's going to know it. We're trying to protect him because he is still growing through this recovery, but I think he's getting close. And it could be a major addition for us as we get in this stretch run, here in the second half of the season. But I'm hoping to get a couple guys back. We'll see as the week goes. We're very hopeful. We hope that the bye week and the timing of this is going to give us this opportunity to get a couple guys back.
You talk complimentary football. I know you love to run football, set up the pass, but have you been pretty pleased with the progression of the passing game?
I really have. I think offensively, I knew it was going to take some time. We got a lot of our defensive players heavy in January. We added a couple really good ones late, but we added the majority of our offense this summer in June. And the biggest thing we keep fighting for and working for each day is to be peaking by week 8. Obviously, we want to peak Saturday night. But throughout the years, when you've went through this rebuild, new program, first year, a lot of times it's if you fight for it long enough, you can hit it by week 8 because it's not easy. But our guys have continued, and we've gotten better offensively, I feel like, each week. We just got to continue the climb.
You mentioned this is a team that's only turned the ball over 3 times, and we know this is a Warhawk defense who can force turnovers. Just the importance of maximizing on those opportunities when given to you.
We got to maximize it. In this game, I really believe in my heart this game's going to come down to about 6 to 8 plays, and probably 3 or 4 of those plays will be in the last 6 or 7 minutes of this game. So we've got to make the most of our opportunities, and we got to go out and we got to play a really good team. In conference play at their place on homecoming, and we get an opportunity to see where we're at. Thank you. Go Warhawks. Appreciate you guys.